The best way to learn a language is by focusing on one lesson at a time. Today's narrative is a parable about the power of focus. And it is also an immersive opportunity for you to improve your English in a clear and engaging way. We have been taught to idolize multitasking. In our fast-paced world, the ability to work on 5 projects at once has become a point of pride, a synonym for being productive and indispensable. But here is the paradox that haunts the end of our workdays. If we are doing so many things at once, why do we often reach the end of the day with the overwhelming feeling that we've accomplished nothing significant? This is the story of Mark, a new entrepreneur drowning in his own endless to-do list, and the surprisingly simple lesson he learned, not from a productivity guru, but from a retired primary school teacher. Mark was the new soul of the Cold Spring General Store. He didn't just buy a shop, he bought a dream, and his mind was bubbling with ideas to revitalize the traditional spot, a new website, community events, a section for local goods. His passion and his energy were contagious. But Mark's passion was expressed through the chaos of multitasking. To see him on a Monday morning was to witness a juggler about to drop everything. With the phone on his shoulder, negotiating with a supplier, his eyes would jump to the laptop screen where a new logo was being designed, while his hand gestured just a minute to a customer waiting patiently at the register. To him, this was the height of productivity. The result, however, was illusory progress. The supplier, annoyed by the lack of attention, would send the wrong order. The customer, tired of waiting, would leave without buying anything. The store became a museum of good intentions, a new shelf half assembled in a corner, half-finished posters for an event that never happened. Mark was in constant motion, but the store wasn't going anywhere. In the midst of all this chaos, there was one constant: Mrs. Sullivan, a retired primary school teacher, a daily customer at the store. She moved with a calm that seemed immune to Mark's hustle. For 40 years, she had managed the chaotic energy of 26-year-olds. She saw Mark's good intentions, but also his ineffectiveness, with a familiar recognition. The lesson came in the form of a simple mistake. One morning, as Mark tried to end a call with a supplier and answer an email at the same time, Mrs. Sullivan approached the counter to buy a bag of sugar. Distracted, Mark grabbed the item from the shelf without looking, rang up the sale, and wished her a good day, all while still on the phone. It was only when she got home that Mrs. Sullivan realized he had given her salt. Upon her return to the store, the shame on Mark's face was immediate and overwhelming. His apologies were as frantic as his work, and in that moment of genuine embarrassment, upon failing the simplest task in front of his kindest customer, his armor of being super busy finally cracked, leaving him vulnerable and, for the first time, ready to listen. Mrs. Sullivan accepted his apology with a nod and a smile that seemed to hold decades of patience. "Don't worry, Mark," she said. "You're trying to do everything at once. You remind me of my old classroom at toy cleanup time." Mark was confused by the comparison. "When I wanted my students to clean up the chaos," she continued, "I never gave the big, scary order, 'Clean up the room.' That's too big. It invites paralysis. Instead, I would give one single, small mission. I would say, first, everyone put only the red blocks in the red box. That's it. One task, one color, one destination. When that was done," she concluded, "we would move on to the blue blocks, one thing at a time. It's slower at the beginning, but it's the only way the room actually gets clean in the end." Mark listened, skeptical at first. The idea seemed too simple, almost childish for the complexity of his problems. But the logic behind it was undeniable. Clean up the room was his vague desire to modernize the store, and the red, Blue and yellow blocks were the emails, the inventory, the customers, the logo, everything he was trying to do at once and failing at. The seed of logic had been planted. The next morning, Mark decided to try the experiment. He wrote on a post-it note, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., only answer supplier emails, and stuck it to his monitor, closing the door to his small office. The first few minutes were torture. His hand moved towards his phone out of habit. His mind screamed about the boxes that needed to be unpacked. The mental itch of multitasking tried to take back control, but he persisted, and at the end of that hour, something surprising happened. All the important emails were answered, clearly and without errors. He looked at his inbox 0 and felt something new. Not the exhausted relief of the end of the day, but the calm of a task well executed. What would normally take a whole morning of interruptions was done in one focused hour. That was his first red block. He followed it with a blue block for inventory and a yellow block for focused customer service at the counter. Week after week, the store transformed. The half-assembled shelf was finished. The posters for the event were printed and distributed. The customers, receiving his full attention, felt valued. And Mark, paradoxically, by doing one thing at a time, was accomplishing everything. He was less busy, less stressed, and more productive than he had ever imagined possible. Mark's journey, from the chaos of good intentions to the calm of real progress, teaches us a fundamental truth. Multitasking is an illusion. True productivity is not born from the ability to juggle many tasks, but from the discipline of giving one single task at a time, the rare and powerful gift of our full attention. His lesson is an invitation to look at our own daily chaos and ask ourselves, what is our red block? Amidst all the distractions and demands, what is the one task to which we will give our full focus for the next hour, knowing that completing it well is more valuable than starting 5 others? If this simple lesson on the power of doing one thing at a time resonated with you, leave a comment below, like and share this video, so this message can find others who feel busy, but not productive. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that teach you how to learn English. Until next time, choose an activity and finish a task.